Hello, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Bower. I'm Ryan Steffen, Communications Coordinator from Bower Center for the Arts, and this podcast is all about inspiring conversations, exploring the arts in our community, and shining a spotlight on the incredible artists, performers, educators, and organizations that make Bedford such a vibrant place. Today, we are chatting with Cassandra Baldwin, the Program Coordinator of Youth Services at the Bedford Central Branch of the Bedford Public Library System. I've invited her here to talk about all the fun and interesting things that our local library system has to offer. Hello, Cassandra.
Hi.
Hi. I feel like, in full disclosure, we should tell everybody right now, Cassandra's my niece.
Yes.
And Cassandra and I could sit for hours and talk about books, and we apologize if at some point it just evolves into talking about books, because that's what we do.
Yes.
All right. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Cassandra Baldwin. I am the youth coordinator at the Bedford Library. I plan all of the youth services programs, like any of the kids programs at the Bedford branch, but also plan out the summer reading program for Bedford County.
Okay. So as your role as the youth director, what exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, basically, I just try to come up with some educational and stimulating programs for the kids at our branch. And then starting at the first of the year, it takes me a good 8 months to plan summer reading program for Bedford County. We have 6 branches throughout Bedford County that I plan for. So we have a very exciting summer ahead. We're already into it. So, but yeah, that's what I do. So I, just go around, make sure that everything is where it needs to be and just plan the programs. It's super fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to backtrack for one part of one question here. There is a big misconception for a lot of people that libraries are just where you go to check out a book.
Mm-hmm.
Libraries are so much more than that.
We are.
As somebody on the inside, can you tell us what else does a library offer for us?
So, yes, of course we have books, but we also have like notary services, passports. You can get a passport at the library. We have story times, and we have adult programs, and everything is free. So everything at the library is free. All of our programs are free. We have free computer usage. You can make copies. You can send faxes. So you can do a little bit of everything at the library. It's become more of a community center, in the hub, basically the hub of Bedford. So you can also rent out meeting rooms, and that's also free of charge. So
sure. So community center, I think, is one of the key things there. It's it's a place to meet people, to talk to people, to find people who have similar interests to you. I know when I was perusing through the Bedford Library's website, you guys have tons and tons of programs.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about the one I know you've been working on the most so far, which is your free summer reading program. You said it was 1 week in right now. Is it too late to join, or can we join now?
No, you can join until July the 19th. So that's the end of our summer reading program. So it's been going on for about 2 weeks. You can join at any time. And you just go online, go to our website, and that's bpls.org. And that's where you'll see a list of our events going on in the summer. That's where you can register on Beanstack. And, that's a great app that we have and a great platform that we have where the parents and kids can track their books and earn points and then win prizes throughout the summer.
Okay. You mentioned Beanstack, and that's a new term to me.
Yes.
So can you walk me through easily how it works?
Sure. It's super user friendly. So if you wanted to sign up for our program, you would just log on to our website, and then we have a link to our Beanstack platform. And that's where you register your kids or yourself, because we also have an adult summer reading program. And it walks you through it step by step. It's very easy. And then you can start logging books and you can start earning points. So with the kids, we encourage 20 minutes of reading a day. And when they register, they automatically get a free book from us. So that's going to start encouraging the reading. And then they can do things in the community, such as find a mural, visit an art museum, stuff like that, and earn points. And so when they earn points, that's when they'll earn prizes.
Okay. One of the things I'd love to hear you say was the 20 minutes of reading every day. So for those of you that don't know, I was a high school English teacher for 20 years. And one of the tenets of my teaching was I can teach you all of the critical reading in class. We can close read and do all of that when we're together. But the best way to learn vocabulary, the best way to broaden your horizons, to improve your fluency is to read every day for 20 minutes. So I love to hear that you all are echoing the same thing that most teachers are trying to get to do. Do you feel like kids are reading 20 minutes?
I feel like they are. I do. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the program, is to avoid the summer slide. And I'm sure you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
That phrase. And it really is a thing that happens where you get caught up in the summer. Kids really don't keep track of any sort of reading. They kind of fall behind over the summer, and then they start a new school year. So we're trying to encourage kids and make it fun so that they want to read throughout the summer. And that way they're going back to school in the same place or a little bit more advanced than where they were.
Yeah. Can you tell me roughly how many kids you have involved? Is that too difficult of a question?
Not really. If you combine all of our branches, we have about 1,500 kids that register per year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them actively track their pages as they should?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes, they do.
Are you seeing a lot of partnerships like with kids and parents, like families going into it together?
I do. I've seen summer camps in the past actually go on it in it together. But we see a lot of family participation where the parents will also register for the adult reading program and their kids register for the kids reading program, and they kind of do it together. It's like a family thing.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So how much have you read this summer?
How much have I read?
Yeah, are you tracking your own points?
I need to know. I'm maybe one book this last month.
Okay.
Which
all right.
is okay.
You're prompting me to think like maybe I should actually register with the Beanstack and I should do the challenge.
You should.
Because I read all the time, but I don't track it on anything except for Goodreads. And
Same.
I'm not sure that's a solid way to track it. So obviously summer reading program has the theme of Color Your World.
Yes.
I've noticed that's a big theme kind of in lots of libraries right now. So is that one you selected together? Is that one that you're offered? How did that come to be your theme?
That is from the Library of Virginia. It's a CSLP. And, they basically have a panel and they vote on the themes every year. But they're already in like 2027. So we've known this is going to be our theme. So it's awesome because they offer us free literature, free advertising. So we get all of our stuff from them because we can get free bookmarks and free promotional items and posters and, actual physical reading logs that the kids can take home. But any library can choose whatever thing they want. It's just easier when we have, artwork that's already done and stuff. And plus I love how broad, that it is this year. Yeah. Because you can really do anything with Color Your World. Yeah. Right.
What are some of the things you're doing with Color Your World?
So a lot of the branches, including Bedford, we're basically kind of focusing on art. So I know that one of our libraries is like doing a Van Gogh series, and, I'm doing some mixed media art and I'm doing some mural making, stuff like that. So we're just trying to keep it artsy, but yet relevant to reading.
So if somebody's interested in getting involved in those things, how can they do that?
They just go on our website and register for the program. We have a lot of in-house advertising, some of the special programs, because while I plan the main events, so it's like really bit like the theater groups that come and the music groups that come, each branch has their own individual, like other programs. They're called branch specials. Okay. So what I do in Bedford is going to be different than Montvale, different than Big Island. So everybody has their own little thing that they're doing this year.
And the easiest way you said to find that is through the websites?
Yes. And just going on and registering, because, 9 out of 10 times you're going to have to register for it just because space is limited.
Sure. Same thing at the Bauer Center. Yeah. Like we often have free programming, but we need to know how many to plan for. We need to know how many tables and chairs to set up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you get great turnouts at these events?
Oh, 100%. This year has been... we've already kind of been full in a couple of branches with their programs already. So we're starting out with a bang.
Awesome. Why do you think that is?
I just think people are looking for something to do this summer. And they want to try new things. Some of our larger programs are like a really big hit. Like I have the reptiles coming next week,
Hmm.
and the kids just like the hands-on things, and it's something local. So parents and families they don't have to travel outside the area too far to find some good quality programming and fun things for the kids to do. And it's free.
Right. I think you hit on the three big things right
Yeah.
there. It's family friendly, it's local, and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that you can do for a couple
Mm-hmm.
hours in an afternoon with your
Exactly.
family. So what is one of your favorite activities you've got planned for this summer?
So I have a new program. It's in July, and it's a comic book workshop. So these guys they're from up north. I've never, I just kind of heard of them word of mouth, but they are going to come. It's called Do Art Productions. So we've never had them before at any of our libraries. They're going to come and explain to the kids what goes into making a comic book, and then you get to make one yourself.
Oh,
So they're
fun.
going to, I know, isn't that fun? So they're going to do all the artwork, help you come up with a storyline, all of that stuff. So I'm really excited about that.
So you said you heard about them from word of mouth. Where do you
Mhm.
get some of your programming ideas?
Honestly, sometimes, the Library of Virginia has a directory of every performer um, in Virginia. These guys, I want to say, was either through an email or through a patron that was like, "Hey, I've heard of these people." It was something like that. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving out from beyond the summer, talk
Yes.
to me a little bit about what you all offer during the school year, both for kids and adults, although you're the kids person.
Yeah.
So like, we can aim towards kids.
Yeah. Well, with the adults, they do have some programming. They have some interesting workshops. A lot of the like master gardeners will come and do some workshops for us. Um, and then I know around Christmas, especially, we have a lot of like wreath making. I know last year we had wreath making. We had Tussie Mussies, which is like a Victorian thing. So, but it just varies for the adults.
Okay.
For kids, we have story time all year round. Um, and I tomorrow's the first day that we're going to break up our story times. So we used to have one all like rockabye reader. That was one strictly for just babies.
Okay.
Well, 0 to 3. And as
Mhm.
you know, that's a lot
It's a lot.
for one story time. So we're breaking it up and we're doing toddler time for 2 to 3-year-olds. And then we're having like an infant story time. So that way, there's more attention paid to the, older kids, the toddlers, and they're a little bit more active and busy. And then you have a lap sit program for the infants.
Sure. So who does those storytelling?
So Miss Yvette does it at Bedford. She's really great. She's awesome. But also, I think what's really important with the story times is it's socialization for your kids, but also for the moms or for the parents.
Sure.
Because I know we're always looking for somebody to talk to and to hang out with. And it's just a safe space for your kid to play and for you to meet new people.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I feel like Bauer, as well as the library, is a great place to find your people.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who moved to town a few years ago,
Yeah.
I struggled to find my people at
Yeah.
first. So it's nice that you have events and things that happen
Mm-hmm.
with a common interest that are going to bring those people with common interests
Exactly.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other specific programs that are coming up soon that you'd like to highlight?
So next week, like next Wednesday at 1:00, we have the Larsons. So they are a local group that has reptiles. The kids love it. You get to pet the reptiles. You learn all about they have a snake. Every year I try. So I'm like, this is my year. I'm going to hold it. And I don't, because it's very large.
This
So,
is your year.
yeah,
Is the year
I
you
feel like
can
this
hold
might be
snake.
the year though. So, but that always draws a huge crowd. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Mill Mountain Theater is coming at the end of the month, and they're doing the production of Rainbow Fish, which I think is going to be phenomenal. They always bring their A game. Like, they're always great.
When I was looking through the website, that was the first I had
Mhm.
heard of that. I'm super excited to see
Yes.
that one. I've got to see if I can take some time off work
Yeah.
to come across the parking lot and come check out what's happening. So obviously you deal with programming, but you also
Mhm.
probably are the one who helps select books and get books in
Yes.
to the library, especially for the youth.
Uh-huh.
What trends are you seeing in youth reading right now?
Um,
And they are reading. I know a lot of people say they're not reading.
No, they are.
There are a lot of them
I've
that are
heard
reading.
that too. Yes. No, they are. I am seeing a lot of, kids that are just starting to read and really get into reading. Chapter books are the way to go because they have such a wide variety of subjects. Like I'm seeing a lot of Minecraft, of course,
Okay.
and they actually do have stories with Minecraft. I'm seeing a lot of graphic novels. Which I'm excited if that's what's going to get them into reading. There's tons of graphic novels with really good stories.
Right. And there's tons of graphic novels in the adult realm that are super complicated.
Yes.
I know that sometimes they get under fire because people don't think it's real reading.
They do. And I used to struggle with that. I'm going to be honest, because I was like, well, if that's what starts, it's like a gateway book, right?
Exactly. Oh, that's right.
And that's what I try to explain to parents. If that's what they're interested in, it's going to be so hard to make your kids sit down and read something that they don't even care about.
Right.
So that's why, if we have, there's a lot of, I guess Goosebumps is making a comeback.
Okay.
Which I'm super, I grew up on that. So
Magic School Bus and Goosebumps. Those are some of my favorite ones.
So they're still making Magic School Bus. We're on like 500, I feel. And then the Goosebumps definitely is making a comeback, which the kids love.
Sure.
And then there's an I Survived series, which is like I survived, Pearl Harbor. I survived a shark attack. I survived, this volcano eruption. So the kids really like that too, just because they can kind of read another point of view.
Right.
And
right.
kind of.
And there's a predictability in structure. And I know that there's a lot of people that think that that's also not a great thing. But I think for an emerging reader or a new reader,
yes,
if you're not always trying to figure out the structure and the pattern and how things are going to be built, then it's easier to enjoy what you're reading and to pick up on other things. It's probably why there are 500 Magic School Buses. Like if you read them, the structure is essentially the same, but the stories are different. It gets into one of my questions I always debated as a teacher, which was kids start out loving to read. And then somewhere between loving to read as a kid and getting into high school, they hate reading.
Exactly.
So I'm happy to hear that some of your approaches as a librarian, are the same that I tried to embrace as a teacher, which was forget about what they're supposed to read.
Exactly.
And get them to read whatever they want to read.
Yes. And I know that's hard for some people. Like I know that is, but you're going to have a higher success rate if you do that.
Right, right. It's why I think for myself, I just read all the time. And I'm sure for you as a librarian, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Because if you have a kid that finishes a book and they ask you what you should read next, you can figure out, are they on the same level or is it time to nudge them just a little bit further? Like if you loved this book, why don't you try this one? And maybe that structure is a little different. Maybe that vocabulary is a little bit more complex. What's your favorite book that you've been reading lately?
Okay, so I kind of fell into the Frida McFadden trap. I know her books are actually a little old, but they've made like a coming back. So I've been reading a lot of her stuff. I haven't read the most popular one, The Boyfriend, but she's kind of a thriller author, and it's interesting because every single book that I know I have figured out. She's really, really good. It's like look left, fake right.
Okay.
She is she's amazing.
Yeah.
I read a lot of young adult books, but I've been trying to take a break just because I'm trying to, get out of my box.
Yeah. Young adult books, again, as a teacher, they're probably my favorite.
Oh, they're my favorite.
It's what I'm reading right now.
I just love it.
It's a book called Jasmine and Maddie, which is about like middle school best friends.
Yeah.
And in reading it, I'm like, I still love this genre.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because teaching for so long, I just knew kids. I understood where kids were coming from. But truly, there's some fantastic actual writing happening in young adult
100% right now. Like, I've ordered some really good books, and they're just kind of mixed with contemporary, anywhere from contemporary to horror to fantasy, because fantasy is always popular with young adults. So, and we've got some really, really good artists. Writers that are coming up.
I think for a long time, young adult books were kind of pushed into this corner of like not actually good books.
Yeah.
And what I have found in my own reading of a lot of them is word by word and line by line, they're beautifully written. and they're really delving into difficult issues.
They are.
That lots of young adults and teens are grappling with, that maybe they're not super confident talking to anybody with. And they don't get super deep and they don't get super heavy-handed with it, but I feel like it does give them the confidence to maybe have that conversation.
Well, and it's very relatable.
Yes.
So they're making a really hard issue relatable to where they can maybe understand a little bit more of what they're feeling and then processing it.
Right. Right. I think it takes a super... I'm getting lost in my words. It takes quite a maturity from a writer perspective to stay in that young adult lane and not try to fall into the adult processing and the adult part of it. And I think that's just one of the things I respect about it a lot.
I agree.
What is your least favorite kind of book to read, though?
I mean, as a children's person, I should never say this, but nonfiction is extremely hard for me. Like, very hard. I'm trying, I tipped my toe into adult fiction lately and it's nice. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
a little grim.
It is a little, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not reading the mainstream stuff like the John Grisham. that stuff just doesn't interest me.
Right.
And that's just me.
Right.
They're not saying he's a bad author because he's not. But nonfiction is a struggle because I feel like I'm back in school.
That's fair.
Seriously. Like, I feel like it's like a required reading. Like, I have to do it.
Right.
I know eventually there's going to come one that I'm going to be like, oh, this is cool. And I really want to read about it, but I haven't found one yet.
Yeah. I'm going to agree. Nonfiction I struggle with it. What I have found is if I can find the right narrative nonfiction writer, it's much easier than textbooky type nonfiction.
Like maybe an audiobook.
Audiobooks are great. It's another one of those, like graphic novels, audiobooks are a little underrated. But, I commuted for an hour one way for almost 20 years. I went through my fair share of audiobooks, whether they be lofty or not. And I think they're a great way to still hear and expose yourself to the stuff that maybe you're not super interested in reading.
That, and if people are like, well, I'm too busy to sit down and read. Okay, well, you don't have to. So we have an app called Hoopla that is amazing. And it is my favorite app. It's really user-friendly. You get 3 books a month for free. And that can be, it doesn't have to be it can be an ebook. It can be music, a movie, and it can be audiobooks. And I use that app strictly for audiobooks because I have a toddler. So it is very hard for me to sit down at any point and read a book. So I can at least have one headphone in, or if I'm cleaning, if I'm out doing yard work, I can, it's kind of like for somebody on the go. You can listen to your story. You're still engaged in your story, but you're not having to sit down and actually read it.
Yeah. So. I think it's a great idea. Great suggestion. So Hoopla, you said was the name
Hoopla.
of it? For those who are looking for audiobooks and free audiobooks, it's definitely a way to dip your toe back into reading without feeling scared
100%.
about it. Because the worst that's going to happen is you're not interested and you can put it down or turn it off and find something else.
Yeah, that is our most used thing at the library. I'm going to be honest. Okay. Like, we do a ton of passports and a ton of notary services, but Hoopla is the most popular thing that we have, just because you don't have to come in the library to get the book. We have new books. It's not like old books that you're taking out and then they're returned automatically in 28 days.
Okay.
Or in a week. It depends on if you get like a brand new one. But there's waiting lists. The app does everything for you. It tells you when your book is there. You read it. It returns it for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I told you we would end up talking about books.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do because we love the books. We should maybe get back to what we actually do. So let me ask a little bit about like being involved in your community. I know a library for lots of people in a community is one of the cornerstones.
Yes.
How do you get involved in your community and how do you want your community to get involved with you?
So I do a ton of outreach events. And that's just to let people know that we're here. We offer these services because I hear all the time, I didn't know the library did that. I didn't know that you had internet. I didn't know that you had Wi-Fi. I didn't know you could make a copy. And so I'm trying to make our presence known. So I'm at a lot of kids events, but I'm also at like Parks and Rec events. I think Social Services did an event a few weekends ago and I went out to that. So just actually being present in the community with some of these events and showing your face, people know who I am. And then, I bring literature on the library and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, but then also, like, I know we're partnering with the Bower this week. The kids' summer camp, they're coming today and on Thursday to take a tour. Yeah. So I do a lot of tours, especially during the school year with elementary schools. So they come and want to know what the library is about. And then I do a lot of events with Parks and Rec. So I have them they'll come and do a program for me, and I'll come maybe do a program for them. So it's, we work really well together.
Nice. And hopefully the Bower can work with you more.
Yes.
You and I have talked about that off the microphone a little bit.
Yeah,
Trying to partner up a little bit more. I think you talked about one of the hardest things is how do you reach people?
It is.
There's not a lot of ways to reach people. And I will admit there are things that you all are doing in the library that I didn't know you were doing until I looked it up on the website. And I'm sure there are plenty of things at the Bower Center that we're doing that people don't know until they look at the website. Do you have any advice on how to reach people?
I mean, honestly, the best form of advertising is word of mouth. That's what, that especially in a small town.
Yeah.
So I feel like, more and more people are starting to realize that we're here, and it's just about how you advertise and market yourself. And then, just be, I don't want to say like in the community's face, but just be present.
Sure.
So
let them know that you're there. Another way of getting word of mouth is absolutely volunteers. I know Bower Center is always looking for volunteers.
We are too.
What volunteer opportunities do you all have at the library?
So anyone can volunteer. We have a few teen volunteers this summer, and they help me with prizes and with setting up for the kids' events, breaking down for the kids' events. They help with take and makes, because if you've ever been in the Bedford Library, we have a whole tower of free crafts that the kids can take home. And when I tell you that we fill them up every day, we go through, statistically, we probably go through 400 or 500 crafts a month.
Wow.
Because it's free and parents can take it home to their kids, and that's something that they can do at home. Or they can do it at the library because we also have supplies there. But yeah.
Yeah. It's great to hear all the things that you offer. It's no secret that I have a soft spot for youth. As a teacher, that's, I feel like they are the future. They're literally where we're heading. And it's nice to see all the things that you have available for youth, for families. And I'm excited to see it grow as it keeps growing. We are rolling in at the end of our time. I know you were worried about 30 minutes.
Oh,
you got
okay.
it. We're almost there. Is there any final things that you would like to say? Anything that you want to invite people to come see and do at the library that we haven't already talked about?
I mean, if you haven't, just come visit your local library. There's something for everybody. There really is. And, we just also, we have that lovely Wharton garden right outside of our library. So if you don't want to be inside, you can always go out there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's storybook themed, so it's extremely kid friendly.
Yeah. I that's one of my favorite corners now
same.
of Bedford is that Art Center Wharton Garden Library. Just that whole block of, again, finding your people. There's lots of parents. There's lots of kids. I love to see that all the people that are around there. It's a great place just to stop and hang out in any of those.
It is.
Spaces.
I mean, we even have a small cafe. So we do get a lot of people that are either walking or, they just want to come in for a quick cup of coffee and just to kind of relax. And,
sure.
It's a very quiet and relaxing atmosphere.
I will openly admit I walk a lot, and anybody who's listening to this who knows me knows that I walk a lot. I have come in to sit in your air conditioning before.
Yes, we have lovely air conditioning.
You have lovely air conditioning. All right, we're gonna wrap this all up. So thank you so much for joining us for this very informative and enlightening conversation with Cassandra Baldwin, our next door neighbor at the Bedford Public Library system. It is exciting to see what both the library and the Bower has to offer the youth in our community, and I'm excited to see it grow in the future. And don't forget, there's always something happening at the Bower Center for the Arts for people of all ages. We have summer art camp registrations for camps later this summer that are still open and still filling up. Virginia Hollow will present their concert on June 28th. Tickets are available on our website. We have a dual exhibit in our galleries right now, Kay Lipscomb's Inside Out and limited edition Works by the Bower Family until June 14th. There is a free reception for that event, which will be on Friday, June 13th at 5 p.m., and everyone is welcome. There is no admission to the galleries. And our new exhibit, the 4th Biennial Fiber Arts National Juried Exhibition, will go up at the end of the month. And I believe we do a little bit of a partnership with the library as well on that, having their quilts also hung up at the same time. So for more details on classes, events, exhibitions, please visit bowercenter.org and follow us on social media. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time on Behind the Bower.